Yo, what's up guys? You got pokeaim here. Today we have another Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl Moveset video guide on how to use both TOXICROAK and DITTO. Surprisingly, I was asked about DITTO. I don't know if it was a meme ask, but I will be talking about both in this video. Now, if you guys do enjoy these videos, make sure you leave a like, and also if you are new to the channel, subscribe. I'm on my way to 275,000 subscribers, man. I can't even count. But my end of the 2022 year goal is 300,000 subscribers. So if you like Pokemon content, I'm uploading Moveset video guides, Wi-Fi battles, showdown lives, honestly anything Pokemon I'm uploading on the channel. So if you enjoy that, feel free to let me know by subscribing, leaving a like, and leave a comment down below of which Pokemon you guys would like to see me feature next. I'll be doing multiple Pokemon in some of them. I'll be doing one Pokemon in others, depending on the Pokemon itself. And lastly, my merch is only available for 3 more days. January 9th, the new BDSP merch does stop. So on Sunday night, it will end. But let's get into this. So we're going to start off with Ditto first. Now, Ditto's a really interesting Pokemon. So Ditto is a really interesting Pokemon. Now, let me tell you the important thing about Ditto. You're always going to want to Ditto with Imposter. What does Imposter do? When you bring it out versus a Pokemon in front of you, as long as they're not a Ditto or a Ditto that transformed into another Pokemon, you will transform into that Pokemon, gaining every single stat of that Pokemon besides its HP stat. The only IV that ever matters on Ditto, and I'll talk about why you could do the set I have here, but the only IV that ever matters on Ditto in competitive is HP. As long as that's a 31 IV and you EV train it that way, that is completely fine. I'll explain why I have this EV spread in a second, but I just want to make sure that you guys are aware about that. So don't stress out if you can't get anything else, and don't stress out about EV training a Ditto either. Most Ditto will be running Choice Scarf. The reason being is Imposter not only traces the Pokemon in front of them, but takes all their boosts as well. So take Gyarados for instance, or Dragonite. Dragonite has Dragon Dance up to +4. +4 speed, +4 attack. It's locked into Outrage. You bring out Ditto. Ditto copies the +4 speed, +4 attack, and because you are running a Choice Scarf usually on your Ditto, you are faster and you can knock them out with the Outrage back. So for most part, you're going to be running 248 or 252 HP on your Ditto, and that is the only EV and IV that matters. The rest don't matter on Ditto at all because you're copying something else. However, if you don't want to use, and I'll talk about that EV spread in just 1 second, but if you don't want to use a Choice Scarf, there are more meme picks, or niche picks. So Choice Scarf is going to be the main one because Ditto functions as a revenge killer. It can also be an anti-stall Pokemon because if a stall Pokemon knocks it off, it can come in there and basically never die, because you'll come in on Tangrowth and chase its Regenerator. You'll come in on Blissey and soft balled up. You only have 5 PP of every move that you copy, but you can basically use it to stall as long as you have another Regenerator Pokemon with you. But the other niche items are Focus Sash. Maybe if your team has a lot of defog support or anything like that. Quick Claw is really daring. A lot of people on competitive will switch out on Ditto because they think it's Choice Scarf and they'll play a certain way. Then you can get them, you can affect how they play and catch them off guard with a Quick Claw. And if you want to be even more luck based, you can go Bright Powder. I've used both Bright Powder, Quick Claw, Focus Sash, but mainly Choice Scarf on Ditto, and I've actually used them all to success as well, depending on where you're playing, of course. Bright Powder, I believe, is banned on Showdown in BDSP. But only need Transform. You're never going to click it. You always want to use Imposter. Now, why the hell does this Ditto have 248 HP, 8 attack, 252 defense with a relaxed nature and 0 speed IVs, which you can't see, but I have 0 speed IVs. Let me tell you. Okay, so the only thing that's possible the only reason you do that is because Ditto versus Ditto wars. What does that mean? Ditto is fighting a Ditto, and Ditto can't transform into Ditto. So basically both Dittos will go for transform until they struggle. Now in the struggle, I'm going to just read this straight from where it is because this is what I do, but it doesn't really matter. But in the event, the EVs and IVs have been chosen basically for that. 248 HP ensures that Ditto will be able to struggle 4 times without fainting. If you were max HP, you would, which would be 300, you would actually die. But 240 HP means you can do 4 without fainting. Max defense means struggle damage. It minimizes struggle damage taken from opposing Ditto. I know this sounds super stupid, but I'm just trying to let you know. Lindomar, I know you don't need this. Why did you ask for Ditto, you memer? The minimum possible speed also allows your Imposter to not activate first, and therefore allows Ditto to have more transform PP. By that basically means that you'll win the 1v1 versus opposing Ditto. They'll struggle before you. So it doesn't really matter. Again, that's all like niche stuff that doesn't matter at all. If you're gonna use Ditto, dump a Choice Scarf on it, have it with Imposter. Nature don't matter. Just make sure it has 31 HP IVs, and make sure you EV train it in HP. To be honest, you can just go max HP too, because that scenario is not going to happen ever. All right, it's never going to happen. Okay, it's happened to me once, but it'll never happen again in the history of the world. So, now that Ditto is taken care of, don't use Silver Powder, Quick Powder, whatever the hell Ditto's item is. Don't use it without Imposter. Only if you're playing Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. I actually used Ditto to some success there, but don't use it without Imposter. So next up we have TOXICROAK. Love TOXICROAK a lot. TOXICROAK, I think, was the Pokemon that made me fall in love with the item Black Sludge, which is my favorite item. I don't know why. It's just really cool that poison types have their own leftovers. Am I the only one who feels this way? I feel like that's cool. I feel like fire types should have their own leftovers. I feel like, you know, well, fire is the main one that I think, and electric type should have their own leftovers, like, and basically it'll like paralyze you or burn you turn per turn, or like electrocute you turn per turn if you don't have it. And I think ice type should have it too, and it'll like freeze you turn per turn. It basically just be doing damage just like Black Sludge does. But the first set we have for TOXICROAK is a Swords Dance set, and it takes advantage of a few things. First off, TOXICROAK has priority in Sucker Punch, really good for faster Pokemon like Gengar, Alakazam, and Latios. Has reliable recovery in its best fighting move in my opinion, which is Drain Punch. I really wish they gave TOXICROAK close combat. Like, it does have a strong fighting move in Cross Chop, but the chance to miss is kind of whack. But I love Drain Punch, but I really wish they gave it close combat. They didn't even give it in Gen 8, which is really sucky. And then you have Poison Jab. Being a fighting type that can beat fairies based on your stab alone is amazing. That's really what you want to do. Now, TOXICROAK was nerfed a little bit in this game because there is no elemental punches for it. So it doesn't have Ice Punch right now. It doesn't have knockoff. So those are pretty bad for it. That's actually part of the reason why you're not going to see a Choice Scarf TOXICROAK as one of the options, or even a Banded TOXICROAK as one of the options, just because it needs those moves. Like, if you want to use TOXICROAK in OU, you could with this set in particular, but you are going to be walled by Gliscor. Whereas if it had Ice Punch, you know, you destroyed Gliscor. But Dry Skin's really cool because it means you are immune to water type attacks, and they basically heal you. So it's really, really awesome. Like, you can sit in there on Vaporeons, Suicunes with Calm Mind, Rest, Sleep Talk. Like, you do not care at all. However, you only heal 1/4, and you're also healed in the rain. So if you want to use this on a rain team with like Manaphy or Politoed, Pelipper with Rain Dance, or maybe you don't want to use them with Rain Dance. Maybe you want to use like a manual rain team with Volbeat or Fione or anything that consider manual rain. TOXICROAK can obviously do that. It can also be an anti-rain Pokemon because it absorbs all these strong rain-boosted Hydro Pumps. And unfortunately, it also means that you take 1.25 times more damage from fire type attacks. So it's not. They just do more damage to you, and also you take 1/8 damage in the sun as well. So you're taking damage by the sun too, whereas you heal in the rain. So I got some Dry Skin. You need some Aveeno, but unfortunately it doesn't have it. But in this case, it's okay because it's good in the water. But yeah, it's poison fighting, really cool. Max attack, max speed. I like the max attack stat, especially if you want to use them in the OU tier, because it's faster than like Jolly Mamoswine, which I think is a good speed tier. Faster than Timid Togekiss, and you knock it out with +2 Poison Jab, or Offensive Togekiss you'll knock out after Stealth Rock with Poison Jab. But yeah, that's basically TOXICROAK. I think it's going to be a good lower tier Pokemon. I think it has a niche in the higher tier as well, being able to switch in on Starmie's Hydro Pumps. And as long as Starmie's not running Ice Beam, like Psychic, because standard Starmie, if it's not Specs, is running a Hydro Pump, Thunderbolt, and Ice Beam, typically with Rapid Spin as his last move. So this can eat the Hydro Pump and deal with it back via Sucker Punch and stuff like that. So I think it's a pretty cool Pokemon. Next up, we have Nasty Plot. Now, Nasty Plot isn't as strong just because it has a weaker special attack stat, but it's usually better in lower tiers because it allows this Pokemon to break a lot harder. Basically, TOXICROAK is a Pokemon that's currently RU, if you didn't know. And when it comes to RU, like the walls in the tier, Propass and Regirock and Regice, Regigigas, whatever, Rhyperior, stuff like that, they do not appreciate a Focus Blast at all. And it has a good speed tier as well. So Timid, max speed, max special attack. If you're running it on Sticky Web, you can go Modest. That's definitely for sure. So if you want to run it with Shuckle or an Ariados, or if you're running in the lower tiers, Ariados is one that comes to mind, but Smeargle is there too. Then you would do that. That would basically allow this Pokemon to put in some work, like if you're running it in RU in particular, because you can't use. Oh, actually, you can. Shuckle's down there. Cool. But yeah, it's a cool anti-rain mon in the RU tier. But yeah, Nasty Plot, Focus Blast, Sludge Bomb. Obviously, Focus Blast can miss, but the trade-off, man, when you actually hit is amazing. And then you have Vacuum Wave. Vacuum Wave will allow you to revenge kill a Sharpedo, check a Shiftry in Sun, check a Weakened Slacking, and stuff like that. Whereas Shadow Ball would be stronger versus like Ghost types and stuff like that. Maybe you want to be able to hit a Shedinja, a Gengar if you're playing in the higher tiers upon switching, Rotom, regular. Things like that, like it's good for being able to hit that. But that's basically like when it comes to TOXICROAK. That's basically a Nasty Plot and Swords Dance. Now there is one other set that I really, really like, and you can use Bulk Up on the first set if you don't want to use Swords Dance. I I don't like bulk as much. I liked bulk up more in black and white. Basically black and white OU, where there was infinite rain and infinite sand and stuff, so you could have weather wars, and this was a really cool mon. But Toxic is still one of the few Pokemon right now that still has access to Toxic. And being a poison type, you have 100% accurate Toxic, if you guys didn't know. Even if your opponent goes for Dig, which nobody's going for Dig in competitive, but even if they did go for Dig, you'd still hit them with Toxic. It's pretty cool, right? But yeah, so the set is Subtoxic, and the idea behind Subtoxic is that you're going to come in on bulky waters very easily because of your dry skin, and you're probably going to get a free sub, and maybe they bring out something that could possibly deal with Toxicroak, like a strong ground type or anything like that. Though a lot of ground types you can beat depending on the damage. But let's say they bring out a ground type like Rhyperior, which can easily live +2 life orb Drain Punch just because it's naturally Rhyperior. You sub up as Rhyperior comes out, and then you go for Toxic, which lands, and then you can sub up again. And depending on your set, Drain Punch is always going to be there too because you want the reliable recovery. And then your last move is either bulk up, so that way your subs can start getting harder for your opponent to break. Protect, so you can stall out more turns with substitute Toxic and Protect. And then Poison Jab is also just a good means of letting Toxicroak beat Fairy types. The EV spread is very straightforward, max HP, max speed. I only did that because, again, we're still figuring out tiers right now. You can definitely go more defensive on this thing. I'm sure there's some benchmarks that you might want for this Pokemon. For example, maybe you want to be able to take like two banded close combats from Primate, which you can go with an Impish nature. Funnily enough, this used to run in black and white like Impish on some of these sets, which is pretty cool. So you can definitely go more defensive, just kind of let it tailor to what your team is and what tier you're playing. So again, the thought process behind that is, okay, my team is a little bit weak to Choice Band Primate, right? So let me EV this Toxicroak to take 2 close combats easily after Stealth Rock, because Choice Band Primate is no joke. And also still be able to live maybe like 1 Choice Band Earthquake from full HP and be able to do some damage back to it. So just things like that. That's how you kind of keep it in mind. But yeah, really strong Pokemon. You definitely want some ground immunities when you're running this thing. If you want to stack up on poison types, maybe doing like a mono poison type of thing. Crobat and Weezing are 2 that come to mind that can pair well. Rotom is a really good partner as well. Rotom Wash, Rotom Heat, all of them are really nice. That benefit from the fact that Toxicroak can switch in, like Rotom Heat benefits from Toxicroak being able to switch in on the water type attacks. If you want to run it on a more balanced type of build, I like the combination of Toxicroak with Slowking. I think they're really strong together, especially because Slowking will throw off Future Sights. That will help Toxicroak muscle through those walls that it can't normally beat on itself. Again, you can run it on rain teams too with like Kingdra and Kabutops, and then like your manual rain setters like Volbeat, Fiona can be a decent one too. Prankster Pokemon as well, like just a good Prankster Pokemon. But again, if you don't care about Smogon rules, Drizzle is banned and stuff, you can run it with Pelipper and Polito as well, and Wi-Fi, because nobody's going to stop you. At the end of the day, as long as you're not running straight up Ubers, I think it's fine anyway. Nobody's going to stop you regardless. But overall, I really love Toxicroak. I think it's a fantastic Pokemon. I think one of the coolest mons. I love the poison fighting type, and I think Croagunk is so cool in the anime as well. Like, that mon was just sick. I think it stopped Dialga's attack or something that came out of it, so I think that was sick. But yeah, if you guys do enjoy these videos, make sure you leave a like, subscribe as well if you are new to the channel, and please let me know which Pokemon you would like to see next. Feel free to suggest a combination of Pokemon as well that you think work decently well or like have like the same fit. So for instance, I did Skarmory and Blissey in one episode just because they're a defensive one. I'll be showing them off today and showing on live. Or I'll be showing them off soon, not today, but I think tomorrow and showing on live. But Pokemon that you think pair together. Or pair well together. So, for example, Tangrowth and Hippowdon are both physical walls, so I could do one featuring like physical walls like Tangrowth and Hippowdon. I would add Skarmory if I hadn't done Skarmory already. But just things like that. And also check out the rest of the videos on the channel. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.